When I was a little girl, my aunt gave that to me as a gift. And I've cherished it. I've never worn it because it was so large and ornate that it's been tucked away in a jewelry box ever since.
When did you receive it?
Oh gosh, in the 50s.
Okay. All right.
You ever wonder how something that looks simple at home can end up being worth a small fortune? That's exactly what happened with this extraordinary bracelet and brooch, crafted by a rare name from mid-century New York, Hargo Creations. Hargo Creations, active only during the 1950s and early 1960s, was known for producing exotic, highly detailed costume jewelry rarely seen today. Their pieces were limited run, hand-assembled, and often layered with multiple materials, rhinestones, special dragon's breath glass, and intricate metalwork, giving each creation a striking, dramatic presence. This bracelet, part of Hargo's so-called fantasy series, is known as the genie bracelet, accompanied by a matching genie brooch. The central motif shows a genie figure holding what appears to be a crystal ball, though it's actually lucite, topped with a turban inlaid with another piece of that shimmering dragon's breath glass. Around him are symbols straight out of a fairy tale: a miniature Taj Mahal, Aladdin's lamp, and swirling ornamental details. What sets this apart is the three-dimensional layering: red aurora borealis rhinestones, crystal rhinestones, colored glass, assembled in a complex 3D composition that was difficult to mass-produce, especially in the 1950s. It's still intact, exotic, and rare. A perfect example of mid-century American costume jewelry brought to life.
Well, due to the popularity of it, the fact that collectors really want this genie bracelet, a good retail location, this bracelet would sell for $1,200.
My word. That blows me away.
And the brooch would be in about the $100 range.
Oh my. That's amazing. I had no idea. I just kept it because I thought it was so unique.
I got it from a shop in Lincoln. I had looked at what's usually in cases. It's really nice, and there was nothing there. And I went over to what I call the junk jewelry, and it was sitting there on the shelf.
Okay. And what did you buy it for?
$15.
Wow. When you bought it, was it promoted as something, or did the jeweler say what the stones were?
No. I made some guesses that maybe they were pink topaz based upon some research that I did.
When did you buy this?
8 years ago.
What if the dusty, overlooked jewelry in a bargain bin turned out to be a rare treasure from the 1800s? Such is the story behind this piece: a Georgian-era canatile brooch and matching earrings set in 14-karat gold, dating to around 1830. The stones aren't pink topaz by chance. They're genuine precious topaz, set over foil backing, a trick jewelers use then to intensify a gemstone's color. The result, an electric pink flash that catches the light even today. What gives this set its real soul is the canatile work, a delicate web of twisted gold wires forming honeycomb textures around the stones, complemented by elegant gold leaf motifs. It's a level of metalwork craftsmanship seldom seen in modern jewelry. When you pair that with the matching pendants and stud earrings, you get a complete Georgian suite, something that was always meant to be more than just jewelry. It's rare to find matching Georgian earrings and brooch intact. Even more rare when they've survived over 190 years with minimal wear. This set likely originated in England during a period when Georgian jewelry was flourishing, though some makers in early America did similar work. Either way, it speaks to a time when jewelry was built to last for generations, not just seasons. So that brooch, once overlooked in a little shop, becomes not a throwaway trinket, but a finely made piece of history. A full-on Georgian set, elegant, vivid, and enduring.
Well, I would say for auction purposes, you would be looking at about $2,500 to $3,500 auction estimate.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a nice investment, isn't it?
I would say so.
Wow. I'm surprised. Really surprised. Really surprised.
It belonged to my dad's aunt who lived in Kansas City, and she gave the piece to my mother because she really liked her. I know she did collect antiques.
And do you know how long it has been that she may have had this?
She died in 1958, and I think she was in her 90s. when she died, and she started collecting antiques in 32.
Imagine a time before. Deodorant when city streets smelled of horses, garbage and heat, and every lady carried a private oasis of fragrance hidden in her clothes. Such is this ornate jewelry you see here. It's a mid-19th century gold scent flask and brooch made around 1850 to 1860, complete with champlevé enamel and turquoise-colored enamel work, and crafted in 18-karat gold. They engraved swirling designs into the gold, filled the lines with enamel, then sanded it flush, creating an intricate surface of what we now call champlevé enamel, with that deep turquoise glow reminiscent of Persian tiles. Suspended from a dragon-shaped clasp, the flask would clip on the wearer's dress or cloak and hide a tiny perfume vial inside, a secret scent reservoir for days when the streets weren't kind. This isn't a mass-produced trinket, it's a handmade, one-of-a-kind treasure. Pearls crown the neck, the dragon hook doubles as both brooch and lock. The enamel continues around the entire back. It's jewelry and utility, art and survival, all in one. This flask isn't just a relic, it's a time capsule of elegance, grace, and practicality. A vivid reminder that sometimes the smallest objects tell the biggest stories.
I would estimate at auction, a piece like this would be worth somewhere between $5,000 and $7,000.
Okay.
And it could go much higher than that, depending on the audience or the collector's market for these type of items.
Well, we've always loved it. My mother, like I said, wore it all the time.
I've not seen another scent flask like this in years that has gotten me this excited.
This brooch was my mother's. It was in her trunk. They brought back when they were in Louisville from World War II, and then they had it in Portland and moved to the family ranch, and I found it in there.
And do you wear it regularly?
No. Today was the first time I've ever worn it.
They brought it home from war, hidden in a wooden trunk, passed across generations, forgotten in a family ranch, until today. What seemed like a simple brooch has a quiet secret. It's made of bakelite, and not just any bakelite, a rare purple piece with a story too good to ignore. Bakelite, invented in the early 20th century, was the first truly synthetic plastic, and it revolutionized fashion. By the 1930s to 1940s, it was the material of affordable glamour, bold, colorful, lightweight. Most pieces were mass-produced in earth tones, yellows, browns, but finding a purple one, that's extremely rare. This brooch is built on a gilded metal stem, each element carefully carved, glazed, and finished. Over decades, the clear bakelite on top oxidized into a warm yellow, but underneath it hides a purple glaze, a hidden layer you only see when the light hits just right. Purple bakelite appears almost magical, and I've never seen another like it. This little brooch isn't just a trinket. It's a piece of craftsmanship mixing gold-toned metal and early plastic innovation, still alive, still beautiful.
Today, a fair auction estimate for this piece is $500 to $700.
Wow, really?
Yeah, really.
It's going back in the safe.
My grandmother had these pieces, and she liked to collect things that had animal imagery on them. And when she passed these things along to me directly because we both shared an affinity for beautiful objects.
Do you like animals?
I love animals, and I have several of them at home, but these are especially, they're a little different than the ones that I have at home. I don't have a snake or a bird, but I do enjoy the glittery quality of these.
Picture two small treasures tucked away for decades, each holding a whisper from a forgotten past, a time when jewelry wasn't just decoration, but a statement of craft, mystery, and survival. First is the snake. At a glance, it looks bold, a sinuous curve of 18-karat gold twisting elegantly until the snake's tail becomes the bail. Its head cradles a pear-shaped old mine-cut diamond, just over a carat, surrounded by smaller single diamonds. Below, the body wraps around a deep blue lapis lazuli stone. This is not modern costume jewelry. It's likely a Georgian-era creation from the 1830s to 1840s when artisans used what they had. Gold was scarce, so they carved, molded, and layered with brilliance instead. The snake motif. In Georgian jewelry, snakes symbolized eternity, hidden meanings, and intimacy, a perfect blend of danger and elegance. Then there's the bird. Once a pendant, now refashioned into a brooch with a trombone hinge. Its body was handcrafted using canotile work, thousands of tiny twisted gold wires forming a delicate, honeycomb-like pattern. Lightweight, intricate, and originally designed to dangle from a long chain at a woman's waist, the enamel and structure show how jewelers of the time stretched gold to fashion artistry with minimal materials. These pieces weren't mass-produced trinkets, they were handmade, one-of-a-kind jewels, earned over hours of careful work. When you hold these pieces, you're holding craftsmanship nearly 200 years old, alive again in modern light and carrying forward stories that began long before you or I.
We decided a nice retail value on the snake is about $4,000 to $6,000.
Oh, wow, okay.
All right. Now, on the bird, even in this condition, even though it's been what we call a marriage, it's been changed from its original function, in a high-end retail situation, the bird is going to be $5,000 to $7,000.
Wow, okay.
My parents bought a dry cleaning business, and this brooch was in an envelope in the extra button drawer.
Well, it sort of looks like a button.
Well, kinda.
When you opened it and when you got it from your mother, what did you discover about it?
That it's Tiffany and Company on the back.
Terrible, terrible news, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
What if I told you that a piece of jewelry tucked away in a dry cleaner's button drawer might actually be a lost treasure? That's exactly what happened when a simple brooch turned out to be more than meets the eye. On the back, stamped in clean letters, Tiffany & Co., the name that changed everything. Born in New York, Tiffany was already building its legacy by the early 20th century, known worldwide for elegant jewelry, brilliant diamonds, and craftsmanship that stood the test of time. Owning a vintage Tiffany piece is like holding a bit of history. This brooch probably dates from around 1937, placing it in the late Art Deco era, a time when jewelry balanced geometry with glamour. The design reflects that perfectly. Center baguette diamonds, framed by two delicate rows of emeralds, a combination both refined and bold. Circle-style brooches were fashionable then, and are trendy again now, because they could shift with fabric and occasion, offering versatility that few modern pieces match. Even more compelling, the brooch retains all original fittings and the clasp unaltered, a rare thing after so many decades. From the way it catches light to the subtle green flash of the emeralds, it shows Tiffany's quality and attention to detail.
Do you have any idea what it's worth?
I really don't. I have no idea. It's never been appraised, never been looked at. I have no idea.
Retail value, I think you're talking $65,000. Not bad to find in a button drawer.
No, it's not. It is not. Ooh. I can't wait to get it home.
This was my mother's. I inherited it from her. I'm not sure when it's from, maybe the 40s, the 50s. That's all I know about it.
This delicate flower brooch is signed Sandor from Sandor Goldberger, a New York City jeweler whose work in sterling silver became quietly legendary. Goldberger didn't sign his pieces with full names, just Sandor and Sandor Sterling. Back in the 1940s and 1950s, he carved out a niche for himself by combining elegant silver work with subtle adornments. In this case, mother-of-pearl petals and soft blue crystal rhinestones at the center. Unlike the heavy, stone-laden jewelry of the era, Sandor's style was understated and refined silver that catches the light, shapes that lie flat, designs that suit everyday wear. That makes this piece a perfect example of 1940s chic. Tasteful, wearable, and just a little bit special. When this brooch is held now, it's not just a vintage accessory. It's a rare example of handmade jewelry design from the New York scene, a small piece with big style and subtle history.
In a good retail setting, in today's market, this piece would sell for $1,000.
Oh my God. $1,000?
Yes, that's right.
Incredible.
This was my grandmother's, and it was given to me on my wedding day by my mom and my grandma.
Have you ever had it looked at?
No.
So what can you tell me about what it's made out of?
Coral and diamonds,
Any idea of age?
I'm assuming it's Victorian, but I don't really know.
They said it was coral, a beautiful heirloom, passed from grandmother to daughter, ordinary, cherished, nothing special. But what was hidden inside this Victorian brooch turned out to be far rarer and far more remarkable. The brooch dates to around 1880 to 1890, made of silver-topped gold and set with old mine-cut diamonds, a style of jewelry that showed off craftsmanship and refinement of the late Victorian era. What you thought were coral stones, they aren't coral at all. Those warm pink-toned gems are natural conch pearls, formed very rarely in queen conch shells from the Caribbean. These pearls occur in roughly 1 in every 1,000 shells, making them extraordinary survivors of nature's randomness. Attached to gold, with graceful floral motifs and framed by fine diamonds, the conch pearls lend the piece a softness and glow no coral could match. It's a brooch that bridges jewelry history and natural history, a rare gem from a time when fine craftsmanship met natural mystery. Because queen conch, and by extension their pearls, are now protected under CITES regulations, that is, international trade restrictions, owning such a piece is to hold a moment from before those protections existed. This isn't just your grandmother's brooch anymore. It's a 140-year-old artifact, rare, beautiful, and alive with legacy.
A fair auction estimate for this brooch we see to be in the range of $15,000 to $20,000.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, no, I know. It's good and old.
Oh my God.
It's beautiful.
You're kidding me. Oh my gosh.
This brooch was commissioned by my grandfather for my grandmother, we think to commemorate the birth of my father. And this was down in Ohio, outside of Cincinnati. This would have been the sketch that would have been approved by my grandfather on his concept. Apparently he was interested in doing the fleur-de-lis and described this to the jeweler, and the jeweler came back and said, this is what it's going to look like, should I proceed or not? And fortunately he did.
You went ahead with it.
Some heirlooms whisper history, but this one practically glows with it. This fleur-de-lis brooch wasn't bought on a whim. It was commissioned in 1900 by a grandfather celebrating the birth of his son. And he didn't settle for anything ordinary. He sketched out the concept himself, then handed it to a jeweler with one instruction: bring this to life. That jeweler was E. Jacquard, a prestigious St. Louis jewelry firm founded by French Huguenot descendants. Known for exquisite custom work in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the Jacquard Company became the go-to place for fine, handcrafted pieces in the Midwest. Their craftsmanship shows here in every detail. The design centers on the fleur-de-lis, a symbol deeply rooted in French heritage, representing nobility, resilience, and purity. But what makes this piece truly stand out is its daring use of multicolored diamonds, something extremely rare for its time. The brooch features white marquise diamonds, brown and yellow pear-shaped diamonds, striking lime yellow diamond at the center, soft brownish-pink diamonds at the edges, and most remarkably, an early triangular diamond decades before triangle cuts became popular in the Art Deco era. Even more special, the original approved sketch and bill of sale still survive, making the brooch not just jewelry, but a fully documented family milestone. It's the kind of piece that doesn't just shine. It tells a story every time it catches the light.
Well, in today's market, if this item were to come up for sale at auction, I would put a value on this at $25,000 to $35,000.
Oh, wow. That's substantial.
It's a substantial price. Plus, I would say somewhere around $40,000 to $45,000 as an insurance value.
Yeah. Well, it's always been the sort of the good luck talisman of our family, so it's not going anywhere.
My grandparents married in 1926, and they went to Europe and particularly France for their honeymoon. And she came back with these pieces and several others. My grandmother loved these pieces. She wore them a lot. My mom did. Both of them passed away when I was fairly young, so my sister and I inherited, and we've worn them and enjoyed them, but we don't know much about them.
What looks like a simple brooch today held pieces of movement, light, and luxury, all waiting for someone to reassemble them. The piece was made in France around 1926, almost certainly in Paris. It began life as more than just a brooch. It was a fully articulated platinum and diamond ensemble. At its heart is a classic pavé diamond setting with a central baguette diamond flanked by tapered baguettes, understated but elegant. Here's the twist. The brooch pin unscrews from the back. Remove it, and the same diamonds hang as a pendant from the original chain and bail. Somewhere along the way, someone added an aquamarine drop, a later modification, but underneath all that remains the core of the 1926 design. Taken apart and reassembled, it becomes both brooch and pendant, platinum, diamonds, and history in motion. Owning all original pieces, chain, bail, fittings is rare. It's jewelry that doesn't just sit still, it moves with the wearer. It carries the glamour of Paris between two world wars, the legacy of a honeymoon that traveled across the ocean. If you hold it gently and imagine the light catching those baguettes from 1926, you don't just see sparkles, you see an era, a love story, a promise, still alive, still wearable.
If you were to get the piece back in its original condition, so it could be worn as a pendant and also as a brooch, I would say that if you had to replace this item, you would have to spend about $30,000.
Whoa.
So it's a little bit more than $5,000.
My sister's going to be amazed.
Over 40 years ago, I was a paper boy, and I found this brooch near a dumpster while delivering papers in an apartment complex. And I took it home and I gave it to my mother, and she put it in her junk drawer. And it was years later when my father took it out and took a close look at it and took it in to have it appraised, and it was appraised at about $4,000 at the time. This was about 30 years ago it was appraised, and we found it about 40 years ago, so it's about 10 years in between.
Only the Edwardian era could turn something delicate into something this unforgettable, even if it was found by a dumpster. What he found was an Edwardian diamond brooch, created sometime between 1901 and the early 1910s, the period known for its elegance under King Edward VII. Jewelry from this era is famous for its lightness, lace-like metalwork, and the use of platinum, a metal that allowed jewelers to create airy designs without sacrificing strength. Old mine-cut diamonds, like the ones on this brooch, were common in the transition from Victorian to Edwardian style. At the center is a 3/4 carat old mine diamond. Around it, an open pierced design allows the surrounding diamonds to float, a hallmark of Edwardian craftsmanship. The outer frame is pavé set with more old mine stones, completing a look that's refined rather than flashy, exactly how Edwardian jewelry was intended to feel. And there's a clever detail, a hidden loop on the back, meaning it was designed to be worn as both a brooch and a pendant, a type of functional versatility popular in the era's high-fashion accessories. From a child's paper route to a junk drawer to a rediscovered relic of Edwardian design, this brooch isn't just beautiful, it's a surviving example of one of history's most elegant jewelry periods.
I would appraise it for $6,000 today.
$6,000, wow.
Yeah, so it's gone up.
It has.
You keep it around, it may still go up. I love dumpster diamonds. I love that.
I purchased that piece from an antique broker in our area. Basically, I bought it for the gold weight to keep and not to get rid of, but for an investment.
How many months ago or how many years ago did you do that?
I bought it about 6 months ago.
Do you mind me asking how much you paid for it?
I paid right around $800
$800.
Some jewelry tells a story. Other pieces resurrect an entire ancient world. Such is the case of this archaeological revival brooch from the 1870s to 1880s. Archaeological revival jewelry became popular in the 19th century after major excavations in Egypt, Rome, Pompeii, and Greece stirred global fascination with antiquity. Inspired by ancient Etruscan and Greek goldwork, jewelers revived techniques that had been forgotten for centuries and few have been able to replicate since. This brooch is a textbook example of that movement. Its borders are decorated with exceptionally fine granulation, a technique in which tiny gold beads, often less than a millimeter, are individually placed and fused to the surface. This method was perfected by ancient Etruscans and nearly lost to history until 19th century Italian masters rediscovered it. Twisted gold wire frames the piece, another nod to the precision of ancient craftsmanship. And at the center sits a striking mythical figure or character, bold and unusual. Not the kind of motif typical buyers gravitate toward, but exactly what collectors of revival jewelry value most. The brooch was likely Italian-made, created not as tourist trinkets, but for clients who truly appreciated historic artistry brought back to life.
If it were just a nice gold brooch, you did a good job, and I would say around $1,000. Okay. Being what it is makes it more unusual. You're looking at about $5,000 to $7,000 at auction.
Wow. Well, thank you
a
very
neat
much.
piece.
Yeah, and now I'm really happy that I invested in it.
I
so.
think you did a good job.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It belonged to my grandmother, and her brother gave it to her as a present.
Have you ever had it appraised before?
30 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe $6,000.
This striking piece is far more than a family keepsake. It is a French Art Deco jabot brooch, crafted around 1925 during the height of Parisian elegance. The jabot design hides the pin stem within the fabric, allowing the decorative ends to appear as if they're floating. A subtle, stylish touch that defined Art Deco sophistication. But what truly sets this brooch apart is its maker, La Cloche. The La Cloche family, known as La Cloche Frères, was one of the most prestigious Parisian jewelry houses of the early 20th century. They exhibited at the 1925 Exposition Internationale des Arts Décoratifs, where Art Deco was born, and were admired for their refined craftsmanship, stylish geometry, and impeccable stone setting. Their clients included European royalty, Hollywood stars, and fashionable elites who favored understated luxury over flamboyance. This brooch embodies that reputation. Set with square-cut diamonds, French-cut diamonds, and vivid emeralds, the piece features a circular top and bottom, accented with smaller diamonds that complete its delicate balance. Every facet reflects the era's love for symmetry, bold lines, and precious materials, arranged with restraint and precision. What began as a thoughtful gift nearly a century ago is now a rare surviving work from one of Paris's most refined jewelers, a piece that carries not just beauty, but legacy.
At auction, I would say $15,000 to $20,000 today.
Very good.
It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I got it at an auction several years ago. It was pretty and different, and so I got it. The only thing I really knew about it, and still know about it, is that because the pin is out past the end of it, it's usually pretty old.
Found cheaply at auction, this brooch isn't a costume in the modern sense. Made around 1840, it's crafted in silver-topped gold and designed to mimic real diamond jewelry. But instead of diamonds, it's set with paste stones, leaded glass cut and polished to shine like genuine gems. In the early 19th century, paste jewelry was how women of modest means captured the brilliance of high fashion without the expense, and skilled jewelers treated these pieces with the same care given to diamond settings. The brooch's center flower is mounted on a spring. In the fashion of the day, this made the piece en tremblant, meant to tremble and catch candlelight as the wearer moved. Its foliate Victorian design would have looked at home pinned to a gown or even in a hairstyle. What's remarkable here, besides its age, is its making. Silver-topped gold setwork combined with paste stones speaks to mid-19th century technique aimed at blending elegance with economy. Owning the original box, which still houses the brooch, only adds to its authenticity. In short, this isn't just a discarded brooch. It's a surviving gem of Victorian fashion, crafted in a time before costume jewelry became mass-produced.
Well, these days I think for a beautiful piece of costume jewelry like this, something like this would sell at auction for about $1,500.
You're kidding.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
So Deborah, you came to the Roadshow today and it's your birthday. How exciting, and you got on.
I know.
And you brought such great things. Can you tell us how you got them?
They were my maternal grandmother's, and my grandfather worked on Wall Street in the 1950s and early 1960s, and occasionally he would, on his lunch break, go down to Fifth Avenue or Park Avenue and go window shopping and get my grandmother a lovely gift.
Well, they're all from different periods. Do you know anything about them?
I I know that that is very old, and I would imagine that my grandfather got that at an estate sale. The others I know nothing about.
What if your grandfather's window shopping turned into a hidden legacy of jewelry you wear today? The brooch, from the Art Deco era of the 1920s, reflects the design language of the time: geometric, wearable, elegant. Made in America, it's built around European-cut diamonds arranged in a bow motif that remained fashionable across generations. The emerald ring likely dates from the late 1930s to early 1940s. What's remarkable isn't just the stone, a near-clean emerald, unusual in an era when many had visible inclusions, but the way it survived everyday life, from cooking dishes to daily wear, intact and bright. The third piece is a bold 3-carat diamond ring with extended tapered baguettes, a cut style that rose and fell in popularity but remains a striking, dramatic statement. The diamond's clarity and subtle brownish-pink tone give it unique character. Together, these pieces aren't just jewelry. They're snapshots of changing decades, the bold geometry of the 1920s, the hopeful elegance of the 1940s, and a grandfather's quiet devotion expressed in careful, loving gifts. They're family history you can wear.
So I'm going to give you the value of the bow brooch first at wholesale or auction price. We would range it between $3,000 to $4,000.
All right.
The emerald in the same range, between $3,000 to $4,000.
Okay.
But of course the diamond, I'm going to say $8,000 to $12,000.
Okay.
So I think your grandfather did some good shopping.
I think he did too. My grandmother would be thrilled if she knew.
Oh, thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is jewelry that I inherited from my mother. Sorry, I have a little laryngitis.
What, all right?
And I believe she got them from her mother and her grandmother. She left Germany before the war, emigrated to Palestine and then the United States.
2 stunning diamond heirlooms survived war, exile, and oceans, and they still retained their sparkle. The brooch is art moderne and dates from about 1935. It holds old European and old single-cut diamonds, set in platinum with a white gold pin stem. The larger stones total about 6 carats, and the smaller diamonds add at least 5 more carats for a total of around 11 carats. The piece includes additional fittings that allow it to separate into a suite of clips or convert into 2 more brooches. The ring dates to the 1950s and features transitional cut diamonds, each center stone weighing about 2¼ carats, with over a carat of baguette-cut diamonds in the shoulders. The brooch appears to be German or Austrian manufacture, while the ring is most likely American. The guest inherited both pieces from her mother, who received them from her own mother and grandmother before emigrating from Germany to Palestine and then the United States before the war. The brooch stands as a stunning example of pre-war European design.
Diamond ring, I would say for auction, you'd be looking at the $25,000 to $35,000 range.
Whoa.
The brooch, it's very unusual, and I wouldn't be surprised if we could expect in the $40,000 to $60,000 range at auction.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's a great piece.
That's amazing. I'm kind of speechless, voiceless, and speechless. That's amazing. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Well, thank you very much.
I've collected this about 40 years. Picked them up at yard sales and flea markets and box lots and auctions, and it's mostly mourning jewelry.
And what made you attracted to collecting mourning jewelry?
I think it was just the interest that it's a part of somebody and it's something very special.
For 40 years, one collector turned yard sale finds into a museum-worthy archive of Victorian grief and remembrance. Spread across a table, dozens of brooches, rings, and bracelets glitter with woven hair, garnets, and rock crystal. Mourning jewelry flourished in Georgian and Victorian society as an essential part of grieving rituals. Women in full black regalia, or purple for half-mourning, wore these sentimental pieces to honor the dead or the distant. Hair became the ultimate keepsake, woven at home using kits or macerated into paint for miniature memorial scenes. This collection includes a late Georgian brooch with brunette hair under rock crystal and garnets. A rare 1782 Georgian mourning ring conceals a skull beneath topaz. One brooch features a painted scene of a woman beside an urn and weeping willows, rendered entirely in macerated hair. Another shows a mourning figure holding a wheat sheaf, symbol of eternal life, with a cherub nearby. Bright blonde hair appears in one piece, a rarity because it survives less well than darker shades. The collection spans multiple decades and styles, gathered patiently from yard sales and flea markets. Each piece carries someone's memory, preserved in garnet, crystal, and strands of hair that outlasted the grief itself.
At auction today, conservatively, I would say that you probably have a collection here that's worth something between $70,000 and $90,000.
No. Really? Wow. That's a lot of money.
It's a really impressive group, and you've done an excellent job of curating your love for this group. I'm so pleased for you.
Thank you. Thank
I was so nervous. I thought, oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell him.
Harry Vittori made those pins, and I think they were some of the very first that he made. My sister worked in the dorms where he stayed at Cranbrook. He gave her one, and then he knew that she had two sisters, so three of us got the brooches, and I have those too.
Do you remember about what year this was that you received them?
Oh dear, I must have been in my teens. I bet it must have been about 16 years old.
Okay.
Late 30s, I would say so.
I understand your family had an interesting association with Cranbrook as well.
Correct. Mr. Booth owned Cranbrook. When he first married Ellen Scripps, they lived in Detroit. Then he came to Bloomfield Hills and bought Cranbrook and built his home. It was a dairy farm when he bought it, and then he had to have it landscaped, and that's when my dad went to work for him. And actually, our family was the first family that had children that grew on Cranbrook.
Who grew up on
So
Cranbrook?
we were known as the second family of Cranbrook.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
These silver pins came straight from the artist's hand at Cranbrook before anyone knew his name. Two silver brooches rest side by side, each one forged with spiral wire and modernist geometry. Harry Bertoia was born in Italy in 1915 and immigrated to Detroit at age 15. He studied metalsmithing in Detroit schools before earning a scholarship to Cranbrook Academy of Art in 1937. In 1939, he opened the Metal Studio at Cranbrook. His jewelry follows strict modernist principles. Everything is handmade without solder, using rivets, pins, and tension fittings instead. The forged wire and spiral motifs already hint at the sculptural language he develops later in his famous chairs and sound sculptures. He made jewelry for only a few years before metal rationing during World War II closed the studio, then moved into graphic design and eventually large-scale sculpture. These brooches carry no maker's mark or signature. The family's origin connects them directly to Bertoia at Cranbrook, where the guest's sister worked in the dorms and received the pins as gifts. That direct link transforms two small objects into rare documents of an artist finding his voice.
Each of these pieces alone would bring somewhere between $20,000 to $30,000. So we have a total of $40,000 to $60,000 as an auction estimate. And now that you said there's a third one out there, I would probably say it's around the same value as well.
Oh my God.
It's how rare these are
Well,
and how collectible.
hallelujah. It was worth the trip. It was so nice meeting you, Peter.
Likewise, I can't believe that these came in and such a wonderful story. I really appreciate your sharing that with us, Rose.
Well, hallelujah. What a joy. Well, wait till I tell my other daughter-in-law about that other one. Oh my God. Hey, I'm going to go home and celebrate.
There you
Thank you,
should.
dear heart. I appreciate
You're
it.
very welcome. Thank you for coming.
Oh my goodness. Never did I dream that. And do you know how many years I had these in a drawer?
Oh, I'm sure.
And you know when they were buying silver, I was going to sell them for silver, and then I thought again, and I kept them. Hallelujah, am I glad I did. Thank you.
Day.
Thank you, Jesus.
I have my grandmother's Bucciolati necklace that she left to me 20 years ago. She had told me about it for years. It was her favorite possession that she owned. And she was a very stylish lady, and she was very proud of this necklace. And I have the original box here, which I love that I have the original box.
I love that too.
And it's got the little original pin to attach it to clothing.
Yep.
This heirloom necklace hides 3 pieces of jewelry in one, and the story behind its diamonds makes it even more personal. Inside the original box, a golden necklace gleams with the signature texture of Italian master craftsmanship. The piece converts from necklace to brooch to solitaire pendant, each transformation revealing new dimensions of its design. Gianmaria Buccellati was the son of Mario Buccellati, who founded the firm in 1919. Gianmaria took over leadership in 1966 and steered the house toward refined, decorative beauty. He championed textured gold as a defining aesthetic. His work echoes Venetian lace, pairing white and yellow gold in intricate surface patterns. Buccellati pieces prioritize gold artistry over gemstone weight. The brand remains celebrated worldwide for this distinctive approach to luxury jewelry. This necklace is signed Gianmaria Buccellati on the clasp and crafted in 18-karat white and yellow gold. It incorporates approximately 4 carats of diamonds, some repurposed from a family watch. Commissioned in 1972, the piece took 2 months to complete. It remains a convertible treasure that honors both maker and memory.
As an insurance value, I would say you're looking at $30,000.
No.
Yes.
I just got the chills.
Yeah,
That
I would say
much?
so, yes.
Wow. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I think this is the best day of Stella's dead life.
Aww.
I think
May she rest in peace.
This was her favorite show.
Aww.
And I think she's just, she could only be here and see this.
Isabel Coles is a cousin of my mother's. She designed, I was told, for Tiffany's for about 7 or 8 years. And then she decided to go on her own, and she opened her own shop on 57th Street.
This designer's work for Tiffany lives on in a scrapbook of dreams, an aquamarine ring, and a wartime necklace made entirely from safety pins. The scrapbook holds 35 to 40 original drawings, each one a blueprint for pieces Isabel hoped Tiffany would produce. Isabel Coles worked as a designer for Tiffany in New York City for 7 or 8 years before opening her own shop on 57th Street, the heart of the city's jewelry trade in the 1930s and 1940s. Several companies manufactured jewelry for Tiffany based on designs by independent artists like Coles. Her work reflects both fine gemstone craftsmanship and resourceful wartime creativity. The aquamarine ring, designed for a client's 16th birthday in 1925, pairs a nearly 10-carat stone with demantoid garnets and pale citrine in an 18-carat gold setting. During the 1940s, when materials grew scarce, she designed necklaces and bracelets from safety pins in different colors. The collection includes jewelry, original drawings, and her personal storage box. The pieces document her shift from commissioned Tiffany designs to independent production, capturing an era when elegance met necessity.
In the retail market, I would estimate the total of all of this for $40,000 to $60,000.
No. I mean, I'm doing what everybody says they won't do.
Are you in shock?
Yes, I'm in shock.
I love Art Nouveau, and when my daughter was born, my husband's grandmother gave me this pin.
How old is she now?
Oh, she's 24. I've already promised her when she gets married and has a child that this will go to her.
When this came to the table, I thought to myself, well, that's a heck of a piece of Art Nouveau jewelry. European Art Nouveau jewelry, and specifically it looks like French Art Nouveau jewelry. We do have French marks on it. You can see a little half-struck eagle head on the top of the pin.
Yes.
Along the pin stem, and every separable part on this has a French eagle mark. We'll find it on the C-clasp.
Gotcha.
That's the French mark for 18-karat gold. And the artist has signed the piece in the contra enamel, and his name is Lucien Hertz.
Hertz.
He's seminal in the use of enameling and decorations in the world of French Art Nouveau jewelry and French jewelry.
This Art Nouveau brooch carries portraits in enamel and carved gold, signed by one of France's most celebrated jewelry designers. French Art Nouveau jewelry glows in miniature here, with female portraits set in enamel and floral gold. Lucien Hertz was born in 1864 and became a resident designer for the renowned House of Feliz at age 21. Feliz was among the most important enamelists working in French art, Nouveau jewelry, and Hertz learned his craft there before joining Boucheron in 1893. Hertz mastered classical forms, insects, and Japonism with equal skill. He was highly respected in his time and won top honors at major exhibitions. His work for Boucheron included some of the house's most important commissions, and he became known for his multi-talented approach to design and enameling. This brooch is marked with French eagle hallmarks for 18-karat gold on the pin stem and C-clasp, with Hertz's signature in the counter enamel. A maker mark appears half-struck in a diamond shape on the side. The Musée d'Orsay holds a larger example called La Gaîté, and this piece is a wearable variation of that celebrated portrait miniature.
Now that we know that, I would place a retail value on this piece of between $30,000 and $40,000.
Wow. I was not expecting that. I thought it would be, you know, maybe $1,000 or $2. Wow. I'm so shocked.
This is a brooch that turns into gown clips. It was given to my aunt from her second marriage. Met a man who was the heir to a Midwestern beer fortune, and this belonged to his mother.
Did she ever wear them?
No, not to my knowledge. I think it was just too much. She probably put it on when he gave it to her, and then that was the end of it. My sister, who just passed away recently, had been in possession of all the jewelry from all sides of the family. And when she passed away, being the last one standing, that's when I got it about 2 years ago.
These platinum and diamond dress clips once clipped onto flapper dresses and fur coats, and they hide over 10 carats of diamonds in a style that vanished by the 60s. This convertible brooch splits into 2 dress clips, each one glittering with platinum and diamonds in a geometric design. F. Walter Lawrence founded his New York firm in the late 1800s and ran it for about 80 years. He began with arts and crafts jewelry and believed pieces should function as sculpture to wear, turning adornment into art. His work carries that sculptural philosophy forward into the streamlined Art Deco era. These clips reflect the shift from corseted Edwardian formality to the free-flowing flapper silhouette of the 20s and 30s. Dress clips gave women versatility, worn together as a plaque brooch or separately on dresses, coats, or handbags, and the style remained popular until it faded in the 50s. These clips feature old European cut, baguette, and single-cut diamonds, with several stones exceeding 1 carat each. They come in their original box, which confirms the attribution since the pieces themselves bear no signature. The mix of larger stones and thoughtful design makes this pair a striking example of jewelry that doubles as portable art.
So I would insure this at the $30,000 mark.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That's good to know. For years, it's sat in the safe deposit box, and we always wondered about it. We knew it was spectacular, but didn't know it was that spectacular.
This is my grandmother's brooch. She was Belgian. When I was younger, I always remember her wearing it. And it was something that was really special to her because her husband, my grandfather, they were both around during World War II. My grandfather was in a concentration camp for printing false documents for Jewish people to help them. And when he came back, he had bought this for her.
This gold and diamond maple leaf brooch carries one of the most extraordinary stories of courage from World War II. It is an European gold brooch dotted with rose-cut diamonds and gleams softly with the patina of age. The maker is not recorded, though the piece is clearly European in origin and crafted between roughly 1915 and 1925. This brooch belonged to a Belgian woman and was given to her by her husband, a man who had risked his life printing false documents to help Jewish families escape during World War II and who, after being imprisoned in a concentration camp, presented the brooch to his wife when he returned. The gold setting and rose-cut diamonds reflect the clean, geometric style popular in the early 20th century, when makers across Europe favored naturalistic motifs like leaves and insects. The patina suggests the brooch was worn often. The brooch features rose-cut, diamonds set in gold, and includes a small ladybug detail. No specific hallmarks are mentioned, and it remains a testament to love, bravery, and survival.
If I had it in an auction, I would put it in for $2,000 to $3,000. I know a lot of people don't wear pins today, but it's really wonderful. I would say that the ladybug ended up being good luck.
Yeah.
I believe it was my grandmother's. I don't remember my mother ever wearing it. I have worn it very occasionally.
This platinum and gold brooch carries a signature that multiplies its value by 10. A delicate ribbon of diamonds catches the light, set in platinum over yellow gold to make each stone shine with maximum brilliance. Tiffany & Company created this brooch around 1900, when the firm had already established itself as America's premier jeweler. Founded by Charles Louis Tiffany in 1837, the company became known for exceptional craftsmanship and innovative design, earning international recognition at world's fairs and building a reputation that rivaled Europe's oldest houses. The Belle Epoque style defines this piece, with its characteristic ribbon motif and refined metalwork, typical of jewelry made between 1890 and 1915. Platinum was newly available for fine jewelry, and Tiffany used it to create settings that seemed almost invisible, allowing diamonds to float and sparkle without heavy metal frameworks obscuring them. This brooch holds 2.5 carats of diamonds total. The hallmark on the top confirms the Tiffany signature. The owner notes the clasp needs attention and has added a safety chain. That ribbon of light remains as captivating now as it was more than a century ago.
We would put an auction estimate of maybe $1,000 to $1,500. But because this is signed, this would have an auction value of closer to $10,000 to $15,000.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
I was shopping in Palm Springs, California, about 1996. I saw it and I noticed that it looked like a prop. It's not fine jewelry, but it looks like a hand-painted watercolor in there. The tag said that it was a piece of costume jewelry worn by Paulette Goddard in the movie Kitty, 1945. So that's what kind of drew me to it.
How much did you have to pay for it?
$75, I think it was.
So how long after did you find this photograph?
Well, as we had more access to the internet, I found there's quite a few of these publicity photos that you can see the brooch.
This brooch fooled cameras in a 1945 Paramount picture, and it's still keeping secrets today. A jeweled brooch sits center frame, faux pearls circling a hand-painted watercolor that masquerades as porcelain. Eugene Joseph founded Joseph of Hollywood and pioneered the rental model for costume jewelry in the film industry. He developed a distinctive plating technique he marketed as Russian gold plating, though it was neither Russian nor gold. The dull metallic finish prevented reflective flare under hot studio lights. Joseph's pieces appeared in thousands of Hollywood productions from the 1930s through the 1960s. His inventory system used scrawled numbers and letters on the back of each piece to track rentals. The technique allowed studios to access elaborate jewelry without purchasing it outright, and Joseph retained ownership of his archive. This brooch features base metal construction with faux pearls and Austrian crystal surrounding a watercolor miniature meant to imitate painted porcelain. Inventory marks appear on the reverse. The piece was likely created in 1943 for the Paramount film Kitty and appears in multiple publicity photographs worn by Paulette Goddard. The watercolor center is unusual in the Joseph archive and demonstrates the craftsman's willingness to experiment with materials that read convincingly on camera.
Given the fact that you have this wonderful picture of her wearing it, I think at auction it would be somewhere in the $2,000 to $3,000 range.
That surprises me. Thank you. That's more information than I ever imagined.
It's a turkey pin. It came into our family through a wealthy couple. They had a ranch in Florida outside of Tampa, and they had a wild turkey just kind of adopt them. And the turkey strutted around the yard and interacted with them, and they called him Napoleon because he strutted. When he disappeared, probably to a bobcat, the wife was very, very sad. Her name was Catherine Jennings. So Mr. Jennings commissioned this pin in New York City. It was given originally to cousin Carolyn, and she believes it's gold and that it's cloisonné. But I wear way more jewelry than cousin Carolyn, so she gave it to me. It feels more like just heavy pot metal to me. In my hand, it's very heavy.
This gold turkey carries a heartbreaking backstory that makes it one of the most personal pieces we've ever seen. The brooch captures a wild turkey in full strut, its feathers blazing with color. Catherine Jennings befriended a wild turkey on her Florida ranch who strutted around the yard like royalty, and she named him Napoleon. When the bird disappeared, likely taken by a bobcat, her grief moved her husband to action. Mr. Jennings commissioned the piece in New York City during the 1940s, possibly into the 1950s. The maker remains unrecorded, leaving no signature or hallmark to trace. The turkey showcases vitreous enamel work, a demanding technique that builds lifelike color through layered glass. The contra enamel on the reverse preserves the brooch's three-dimensional form and prevents warping. Each feather required precise temperature control and expert craftsmanship. The piece is confirmed as 18-karat gold despite its surprising heft. No condition issues or repairs appear in the record. This memorial to a strutting bird transforms personal loss into wearable art, keeping Napoleon's spirit alive at every Thanksgiving table.
I would put an auction estimate of $3,000 to $4,000.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Cousin Carolyn may want it back.
This was something that my grandmother gave me. She was half French. Her mother had come from France.
This delicate pendant glows with plique à jour enamel, a technique so fine it lets light pass through like stained glass. The pendant shimmers with translucent color, sinuous lines flowing around a luminous center. Bipart, Griscom & Osborne was an American jewelry firm active around 1890, working during the height of the Art Nouveau movement. The firm specialized in enamel work and brought European aesthetic sensibilities to American craft. Their designs embraced the organic, sinuous style that defined Art Nouveau. They favored naturalistic motifs and the distinctive plique à jour enamel technique, where transparent enamel is set without a metal backing so light can shine through. This delicate process required exceptional skill and produced jewels with a stained glass quality. This particular piece features plique à jour enamel in the characteristic flowing lines of the period. A small seed pearl sits at the top of the pendant. The bottom originally held a freshwater wing or dogtooth pearl, likely American-sourced, that is now missing. The piece captures that moment when American makers mastered a European technique and made it their own.
If a piece like this came to auction, the estimate I would suggest would be $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh my goodness. And my grandmother, you know, she would just love this moment.
It's like she's here with us
yeah,
now.
Absolutely.
I brought them to honor my mother. She had a big collection of art, various kind of arts, and one thing that she collected were jewels. These are jewels that she gave to me on various occasions in my life. Around Christmas time, she would actually give each woman in the family a gift. And an example of that is the little flower that came with various stones. So each woman got a different stone. I got the diamond. And I think that it may be from Van Cleef & Arpels.
A mother's gift becomes a treasure trove of mid-century French jewels, each one a tiny masterpiece. The guest arrives with flower pins, a cat brooch, turquoise earrings, and a diamond-studded strawberry, all keepsakes from a mother who knew her gems. Van Cleef & Arpels crafted most of these pieces, and each carries a VCA stamp on its reverse. The scatterpin blooms with a diamond center approaching a carat and a half, while the playful cat sports a black onyx belly and a cabochon emerald eye. Van Cleef & Arpels was founded in Paris in 1906 and became synonymous with elegance and technical mastery. The firm favored nature motifs and whimsical subjects, from flowers to animals, and maintained exacting standards for color and clarity. Every stone. Scatter pins and figural brooches flourished in the 1950s, when clip-on earrings also dominated fashion. The turquoise and diamond earrings here were made in France, as was the turquoise strawberry brooch set in 18-karat yellow gold with approximately 5 carats of diamonds crowning the top. Each piece bears its original maker's mark, and all remain in wearable condition. This collection captures the charm and craftsmanship that made mid-20th century French jewelry unforgettable.
Going to be anywhere between $7,000 and $9,000.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And it's a beautiful turquoise circa 1950s jewelry collection.
I told you my mom had great taste.
My mom passed away in 2009, and that's when I inherited it. It was given to her by her mother, and I think it might have been my great-great-grandmother's also, I'm not sure. But my great-great-grandparents were wealthy industrialists in Passaic, New Jersey, and I know that my grandmother went on the tour of Europe that all the fancy people used to go on. But otherwise, I don't know anything about it. It's got a pink stone that I have never seen a pink stone anywhere before, so I thought I'd bring it.
Do you ever wear it?
No, I wore scrubs to work, so it didn't quite go.
Crafted around 1880, this stunning piece of Victorian jewelry is a sapphire and diamond star brooch. The accessory features the classic starburst design, popular in the late 19th century. Its exquisite metalwork is a common pairing for the period, combining silver-topped gold. This construction showcases notable intricate detail and quality craftsmanship. Its brooch is richly adorned with both sapphires and diamonds. The diamonds used are typically period-appropriate, featuring the old mine cut or rose cut. The central gem is a focal point. While many such brooches feature classic blue sapphires, exceptional examples have been noted with a rare, large, and richly colored pink sapphire at the core, encircled by an assortment of yellow and white diamonds. Adding to its appeal is a practical and versatile design feature found on some variations, a functional, retractable pendant loop. This clever addition allows the owner to transform the piece, wearing it as either a traditional brooch or a sophisticated necklace pendant. The maker of the star brooch is a mystery. The item is notably missing a signature and a hallmark, the typical indicators used to identify a manufacturer. However, there is a strong inclination to believe the craftsmanship indicates an American origin. Regardless of the absent name, the high quality of the work is a testament to the skill of this anonymous late Victorian jeweler.
At auction, this would be estimated in the $30,000 to $50,000 range.
Oh my goodness, really? I am totally surprised. Oh my goodness, really? Wow, I am amazed. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. How much did you say?
At auction, $30,000 to $50,000.
Well, I better start taking insurance out.
If you're going to insure it, I'd probably insure it around $80,000.
Wow, that is a complete surprise. I'm shaking.
I brought in this pin. It was in my father's safe deposit box, and we had to open it when he passed. We actually someone had to drill it open, and we found a bunch of jewelry that I had never seen before. And this is one of the things it found. I believe it really was my grandmother's jewelry. My family on both sides left Germany in the 30s in a kind of a hurry. And I believe because of some of the other jewelry that was there, like a pocket watch, which I knew came from Germany, I believe this was from Germany as well.
This early Art Deco sapphire and diamond brooch, a glittering artifact from around 1915, captures the linear elegance that defined the era's transition in jewelry design. The piece is expertly crafted in platinum, featuring intricate milligrain edging that showcases the meticulous craftsmanship of the period. The brooch commands attention with a central cushion-cut sapphire, estimated to weigh approximately 1 carat. This focal point is elegantly surrounded by a constellation of rose-cut diamonds and precisely cut fancy sapphires. The total carat weight is substantial, with caliber-cut sapphires and old-cut diamonds all contributing to the brooch's luxurious appearance.
And I would like to point out there is one missing. To replace that stone, it's not going to be inexpensive to do.
The specific type and origin of the sapphire are crucial for its value and can only be confirmed by an independent gemological lab report. However, the color of the stone suggests it could be from the Kashmir region in the Himalayas. Kashmir sapphires are extremely rare, known for their unique velvet blue or cornflower blue hue, and the mines were largely depleted by the late 1920s. The brooch's manufacturing location is not definitively marked, but the materials provide a strong clue. The use of platinum-topped 14-karat gold is a combination that suggests the piece was likely made by an American manufacturer.
If we get that lab report, and it is a cashmere sapphire, and it is about a carat, I would have no problem estimating this for auction in the $15,000 to $20,000 range.
Oh my goodness. I guess we're going to have to reopen the estate. I'm going to have to divide this 3 ways.
Well,
I inherited it from my mother, who received it from her grandmother. They lived in New York City, and this was part of a longette.
I'm going to take it off so you can show everybody the way you showed me.
All right. It was opera glasses, and it had the glasses, and then it had the piece that you held the glasses with so that you could look at the libretto at the opera. And they were members of the Metropolitan Opera in New York.
This antique brooch is a masterpiece of early 20th century jewelry design, likely crafted around 1910. It exquisitely combines luminous pearls and brilliant diamonds, all set in platinum.
If it was a lorgnette, there would have been evidence of hinges and tubings and hardware that held the spring. There's no evidence of any of that going on in the back of this.
Okay.
So my opinion is, it's a great story. You almost had me. But it was never a lorgnette. It was always a stick pin or a brooch. The pin would be classified as belle epoque.
It is a decorative piece of jewelry designed to be pinned onto garments, like a lapel or a dress neckline. It is characteristic of the Edwardian era, 1910, a period known for highly refined and delicate craftsmanship in jewelry design. The brooch is constructed using platinum, which was the preferred metal for high-end jewelry during this time due to its strength and bright, white appearance. This allowed artisans to create intricate, lace-like openwork designs that were not possible with the gold settings of earlier eras. The piece features a combination of diamonds and pearls, often arranged in popular Edwardian motifs like garlands, bows, or floral sprays. Such high-quality Edwardian jewelry was primarily manufactured in major Western jewelry centers across Europe, including London and Paris and the United States, particularly New York City. Renowned jewelers like Cartier, Boucheron, Tiffany & Co., and Marcus & Co. were prominent producers of these sophisticated platinum and diamond creations.
So if I put this into auction, I would put it in for $12,000 to $18,000. All right? I would expect it to do exceedingly well. I don't see it selling.
Well, I brought a pin in that is stamped Tiffany, and it is full of diamonds, and I believe it's platinum. I purchased it about 30 years ago, and I tucked it away and brought it out yesterday.
So it really hasn't seen daylight?
No, not really.
Did you acquire this from a private individual or from a store?
Yes, from a private individual, and they had heard that I like old pieces.
Okay.
That were really nice, and she brought it to me, and we agreed on a price, and I purchased it.
Okay, fantastic. You paid how much for this piece?
I paid, I think, right at $3,000.
The item is a brooch, a type of ornamental pin designed to be affixed to garments, such as a dress bodice, lapel, scarf, or hat, using a pin clasp mechanism. The design itself is a spectacular manifestation of the Art Deco movement, which spanned the 1910s through the 1930s. This specific piece, dated circa 1920, captures the transition from the flowing lines of Art Nouveau into the structured, geometric elegance that defined the Jazz Age. Made by Tiffany & Co., the globally renowned luxury jeweler founded in New York City. The manufacture of their premium items during this period almost certainly occurred in the company's own workshops, located in New York, USA. At this time, Tiffany maintained rigorous control over its design and production processes, employing master craftsmen who translated the visions of the firm's leading designers into tangible masterpieces. This item is a product of American luxury manufacturing, designed and executed to the highest international standards of the day. The brooch is constructed primarily from platinum, the metal of choice for high-end jewelry during this era. The primary decorative elements are a variety of precisely cut natural diamonds. The composition is a dazzling array of shapes and cuts, a signature of superior Art Deco design. The technical execution features fine mill-grain edging, a delicate application of tiny metal beads along the platinum borders, adding texture, softness to the hard edges, and a sign of master hand finishing.
If you were to go to a high-end retail store today, you could look at $25,000 to $30,000 for this piece.
Okay.
So your $3,000 investment
Well, that's not
was
too
money
bad.
well spent.
No, I think so too. It's awesome. I am happy that I purchased it, and I appreciate the craftsmanship in it. So I guess I'll have to wear it from now on.
You should.
We inherited it from Jean Hatton Duffy.
And this was a friend of yours?
Yes. Her and her husband didn't have any children, and she passed away in 2002 because we took care of her in her later years. She left us her home and belongings, and this was in her stuff. If we hadn't had a friend call and tell us she had it, I don't know if we'd have looked for it. What we were told was that because she worked for a magazine, I believe it was in New York, she went to Alexander Calder's studio and interviewed him, and he presented her this pen when she went to the studio. But it's not signed, so that's why we were not sure what it was.
It is by Alexander Calder.
The item is a brooch, a unique handcrafted piece of wearable sculptural art created by the renowned American artist Alexander Calder. It was made in the United States, likely at his home and studio in Roxbury, Connecticut, in approximately 1958. Alexander Sandy Calder, born 1898, was a prominent 20th-century American sculptor from a family of celebrated artists in Philadelphia. Though born into this artistic lineage, he initially pursued a degree in mechanical engineering, graduating in 1919. This technical background profoundly influenced his artistic practice, particularly his innovative use of wire, balance, and movement. Calder's jewelry pieces were not traditional, mass-produced items. Each was a unique, one-of-a-kind creation. This particular brooch from around 1958 is an example of his mature style, characterized by abstract curvilinear forms and a raw, primitive aesthetic that deliberately showed the hand of the craftsman. Brooches from this period were typically made of non-precious metals like nickel, silver, brass, or steel wire, sometimes incorporating found objects like shards of broken glass or pottery. This specific brooch was in line made of nickel silver. The metal was cut, twisted, flattened by hammering, and shaped. Calder rarely used soldering, preferring to join components with loops and rivets, a technique that left visible hammer marks and retained an honest, hand-hewn quality. Wearing a Calder brooch was an adventurous statement in modern art circles, an acknowledgement of a personal connection to the artist and a participation in art as a performance.
And I would say at auction, conservative estimate would be between $20,000 and $30,000.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not.
Received it as part of an inheritance from an aunt who was the wife of a partner of Andrew Carnegie in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
So she had some nice things on.
She was a very elegant person.
A stunning piece of Art Deco jewelry, originally created as a dress clip around 1925. It was crafted by the renowned French high jewelry house Van Cleef & Arpels at their workshops in Paris, France, likely in the vicinity of their iconic first boutique at 22 Place Vendôme. The creators, Van Cleef & Arpels, were founded in Paris in 1906 by Alfred Van Cleef and his brothers-in-law, who merged their family's expertise in diamond cutting and gemstone dealing. Their flagship store has remained at the prestigious 22 Place Vendôme ever since its opening. In the 1920s, the Maison quickly gained fame for its innovative and elegant Art Deco designs. The design stands as a masterclass in the deliberate use of opulent, contrasting materials, which was a hallmark of the jewelry house's creations during that time. Over time, the original dress clip mechanism was altered. A subsequent owner had a more ordinary, later-period yellow-gold circle brooch mechanism added to the back, likely to suit the fashion trends of the 1940s when yellow gold became more popular. This conversion, while making the piece wearable as a traditional brooch, obscured the original Van Cleef & Arpels signature and changed its form from the innovative dress clip. Despite the alteration, the core design remains a beautiful, highly collectible example of early 20th century Parisian high jewelry.
I would say if you had to go to public auction, we'd estimate it $5,000 to $7,000.
Wow,
which is
that's
great.
Extraordinary.
If it was intact, probably $10,000 to $15,000.
No kidding.
So you've got a lot of value here.
Thank you.